unfortunately, as often happens, perhaps Mr. Balogun also is aware of some infrastructure facilities that are spick and span, but those haven't come up. You are used to that. People will complain about, what still needs to be done, and take for granted
what has been done.
What has already been done.
It's natural, but let me. He started by trying to make an inference that it seems as if the whole facilities are in Ekperu. That's also one of the perceptions that I plead against. You see, currently, work is almost done on the Aton-Lusada road. It's not in Remo, it's not in Ogun East. If you go to Lafenwa the axis now, in Ogun Central, work is ongoing. I can go on and on about the Mowe of Father Road. It's also not in that axis. It's near where he is talking about. So, and then there is Adodo Ikongba Road. Then Akute Denro Isashi that is mentioned. He spoke about some bridges started by the former administration. You see, government is about prioritizing what you think is good for the people at a particular point in time. I can tell him that there is an ongoing construction of road. The work have started in Akute, on the Akute Denro Road. That the bridge has not been attended to cannot and should not mean that that axis has been abandoned. The government probably will have looked at, okay, we can have alternative roads. What is going on here needs bigger attention. It was started by previous administration.
You know that we're talking about this at all in the context of sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because we're looking for whatever infrastructural facilities can be put in place or enhanced that would now benefit the ordinary man.
People. Exactly.
The ordinary people.
Okay.
So that Mr. Balogun spoke about the wear and tear, toil on vehicles,
the bridges,
and spending too long on
constructions. That's why I'm saying Akute Denro Isashi Road, Songo Agbado Lambe Road. Construction was ongoing there. It's in the axis he's talking about, and it is meant for the people. That this administration shows not to do exactly the same thing that the previous administration did. It should not be interpreted that abandoning that axis. Okay. So work is ongoing to make life easy in that axis.
Okay, because
if government feels that, look, this will take longer time to continue with this, why don't you provide an alternative that will serve the people right? I think what they should wait for is the end result.
Because it's all about,
ensuring that their palliatives are not in vain.
Yes. Okay. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori.
Thank you.
Good morning to your guests.
Good morning, sir.
Now, Yori, politics over. This is the time to speak gospel truth. The problem of Nigeria today is not about this government. It's what we have been crying since 10 years ago. And it's what we didn't do well yesterday or what we did well yesterday. Yori, do you know today there are about 3 million people living in ID camp in the north? Whether you like it or not, those 3 million people could have feed themselves. They don't want to use SUV or fly on the private jet. They could have gone to farm and feed themselves. Now, Nigeria is feeding 3 million people doing nothing in ID camp. How do you think there will be no food scarcity? That's number one. I want to join this with what I read yesterday about the New York Times, trying to blame this government about bad economy and the hunger. So that one is out of moods. And I don't want to support people who support that New York Times. There's no man on earth that will love you more than you love yourself. This New York Times and their company will push you to remove subsidies, push you to devalue your naira. Now, when the consequence of it comes, they begin to blame you. They begin to set up the people against the government. All I'm trying to say, Yori, Nigerians will fix Nigerians by themselves. We must find a way to stop this insecurity so we can go to farm and at least get what we can eat before even the micro and macroeconomics of the whole Nigeria. This insecurity must stop so that people will go back to farm. People will go and fend for themselves. There's no way a nation will feed 3 million people in ID camps and the economy remains the same. Not to say that government is doing the best. When a man is coming to power, is coming for solutions.
Yeah.
We know Nigeria is bad.
Yeah.
By 2027, we will see people who want to govern Nigeria. They will tell us that they know how bad it is. It is when they get to power, they begin to say how terrible it is. Governance is about change. Governance is about making the worst situation better, not making bad situation worse. I want to talk to the XA in your studio. With due respect, if you bring every government official to TVC, you will think that they're not talking about Nigeria of today we live. You think they're talking about Nigeria that is in the moon. I don't want to listen to government officials. Things have gone bad. We must put ourselves together to do it. Sacrifice. As we make sacrifice, let government officials also make sacrifice. 12 cars in one convoy is too many. 1 dozen cars in one convoy is too many. What is government using 12 cars to do? Security himself and journalists.
I hear you, Reverend Dominic.
When the man is supporting 12...
let's give. Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Let's give Mr. Odufowokan a chance to respond to this.
I will only respond to when I was saying, I said not up to a dozen cars.
Okay. Okay.
And then, but
it goes to show you the agony of the people.
It goes to show, largely, in my opinion, the lack of understanding. If you say a governor should move and he should just drive himself and probably have one vehicle and he says go one vehicle for him, security and the media. It goes beyond that. I mean, most of these vehicles you see in those convoys are actually belong to the various security organizations that are attached to the official. So we talking about sacrifices.
Yes.
While we'll expect sacrifice from the part of the leaders, we should also be ready to make sacrifice and be selfless about it.
The people
be selfless about it and be willing to see the end results.
In fact, the people, I don't need to tell you, I mean, you're a journalist yourself. The people feel that we are the people making sacrifices.
And that's why I'm telling you that those in government too are making sacrifices.
They are,
a lot of it.
But perhaps they want a bit more visibility to their sacrifices. I wouldn't even call it a ridiculous extreme, but I went to the extreme where at one time in this country, where was that? Dodam Barracks, the Supreme Clinical Council, there was just these green Peugeots that were, because a car gets you from A to B. It's not about luxury. You want luxury. Why are you buying?
Peugeot in those days was the in thing. You see, we cannot continue to talk about Peugeot in 2024. Peugeot in those days, what vehicles were better then that were in circulation?
Okay.
Those were the in thing. So let's see, it's about what will work.
We're talking about appearances.
Appearances of the vehicles?
Perception as opposed to fact.
That's exactly perception as opposed to fact. Thank you. But we should work with facts, especially we in the media.
Indeed.
Why do people go with perception? We should help diffuse that and present the facts, not help